13, let's say here is 1, 3. You have a line here like that, and you have this point -2, and there's a point here that which is 3, -1. That's the graph of f of x. Let's say the graph of g of x is, here's -4, and this point is -2, -4, and then it goes to -1, 4, -1. So that's the g of x. Okay, A, let P of x equal to fx gx, and find P prime of 2. Let's think about this. What does this mean? This means you differentiate first and plug in 2. So we have to differentiate this function first, and then plug in 2. And since it's a product of two functions, you have to differentiate the first one times the second one plus the first one times derivative of the second one, and into the x's I have to plug in 2. Therefore the answer, well, almost the answer, f prime of 2, g of 2, f of 2, g prime of 2 is what we need. That means we have to figure out what g of f prime of 2 is. I need to know the slope here. And I need to know the value at g of 2. So here at 2, I need to know the value, 2, something. Same thing goes here. I need to know what the value of f is. And to know g prime of 2, I need to know this slope. So I'll look at the graph to figure out exactly what point that is. I think this is 2, 1. And according to the graph, it's 2, -2. Okay. So knowing these coordinates, I know that g of 2 is -2. I also know that g prime of 2, f of 2 is 1. Those are the easy ones. The harder ones is to try to figure out f prime of 2. How can we figure out f prime of 2?
Count the boxes on the graph.
You calculate the slope. Yes. Yes.
How is g of 2 negative if the slope is positive?
I didn't ask for g of 2. I didn't ask for g prime of 2. It's g of 2. This is g of 2. When you do g prime of 2, you have to do the slope. Okay. All right. Actually, that's what I want to say. So let's just find out the slope between 4, -1, and -2, -4. Subtract 3. No, actually, this is 6. And change of y over change of x, therefore, gives you 3 over 6, which is 1/2. So that's the slope of this line, which is the derivative at 2. You can do the same thing. If you do 1, 3, 3, -1, subtract, you get 4 and -2, and do 4 divided by -2, that's -2, right? So f prime of 2 is -2. And finally, if you add them together, you get 4 plus 1/2, which is 9 over 2, or 4.5. If I have q of x, fx over g of x, then q prime of x is f prime of x times g of x minus f of x g prime of x over g of x squared. Therefore, if you want q prime of 2, you will require the values that we have there. So it'll be -2 times -2 minus 1 times 1/2 divided by -2 squared. And that will be 3.5 divided by 4, or 7/8. That's how you'll get it. Now, part B has derivative of the composition. This is G composed with F. And the question is, what is H prime of 0? Well, what does this mean? This means F is inside G, right? So G is the G is the outside function which you differentiate first. And Fx is something that you plug in and you pull out and differentiate. And you have to plug in x equal to 0 because you're plugging x equal to 0. So G prime of f of 0 times f prime of 0 is what we need. Now f of 0, according to the picture, is 2. F prime of 0 is actually 1. The slope is 1 here. So I should really compute the slope with using these points. But it's easy to tell from the graph as 45 degrees. Now what is G prime of 2? You have it here. It's 1/2, right? So that's the answer. And there's another question here which asks for H prime of 2. And since that's pretty similar to this, you can consult the answers.